Hey everyone, I thought it was about time I shared a quick little tip I discovered while I was writing patterns for the XFM, and that is being able to use its features to create generative melodies. What we mean by this is we can program in a bunch of chords, and when we play back our sequence, a melody will play based on those chords, but it won't be the same every single time. It will keep constantly changing. So I've got this pattern loaded in here that's already got some drums on tracks 2 and 4, and a sort of choral pad on track 1, which sounds like this. So there's a space for a bit of a melody, so I've selected an empty track, which is track 3, and I've loaded in the lead 1 bank with this patch, which is my chosen melody sound. So I'm going to program some chords in, and then we're going to change things so that it won't play the same every time. So my chord sequence is based on the G minor scale. So all the chords I'm going to put in will be based on those notes. So the way we do that is we hit record, and then I'm just going to sort of more or less randomly enter different chords. And with a few spaces in between, this will form the sort of maximum rhythm of our track as we go along. So I'm just going to just skip a few and move around. And then, I don't know, there somewhere, and maybe one there. Then when we play that back in poly mode, which will be the default voice mode, it will just play those chords. Which is obviously a little bit too full. So what we need to do is use the dice function, and that will start to cull notes in that sequence. Randomly. It's already probably a little bit more interesting. What that's actually doing is it's reading a step, it's looking at what notes are programmed into that step. So here on step 1, for example, held across here, there's that first chord we programmed, A, B flat and D, and it's rolling the dice on all 3 of those notes. So one of them can trigger, 2 of them can trigger, 3 of them can trigger, or none of them can trigger. So that's why we're getting a different sequence every time, and that's important to note. So once we switch on mono mode, it's maybe going to try and play 2 notes, but only one of those will play. So the note that's played is randomly selected from those pool of chords we programmed in. So if we do that, to get a nice little randomized melody play every single time. This system is also really useful when you're running a MIDI out into external gear. I've got the same sequence playing here, but I've turned poly mode back on. So we're getting chords, but the dice is still set up the same as it was. You can switch on mono mode internally on the XFM to save voices, but actually the most important thing is that your external synth is either a monosynth or set to mono mode for this to work properly. But I'll leave it on poly for now, just as an example. So I'll turn this down. So we're just getting that sequence. And then I'm going to set track 3's MIDI to the same as the NTS1, which is here. So we go MIDI channel, scroll through to track 3, and I'm going to turn that to channel 1. So now when we press play, we're going to get that same generative sequence sent via MIDI to the NTS1, but it will be playing in mono because it's a monosynth. So there you go, I hope you found that really useful. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and please like and subscribe and all that stuff. So thanks for watching. Cheers.